I'm part of a new TSA initiative to screen certain high-risk travelers at their homes before they even set foot in an airport.
High risk? Really?
Well, you're a white, gun-owning, 20-something Christian man who wrote in Ron Paul in 2 elections and has a house positively chock full of anti-government propaganda. So, since you fit the domestic terrorist profile to a T, the lovely folks at the TSA just wanted me to come down here so I can make sure that you're safe to travel. Now, I assure you, this will make the process at the airport much smoother. And if everything checks out, you won't even have to do a cavity search there.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and take care of that right here in the privacy and convenience of your own bathroom.
What?
Dick Johnson!
Next time on Dick Johnson.
And that was a clip from Dick Johnson, the winning entry to the Resist NSA TSA Tyranny. Now we have the director of that film, David West. He's going to be talking to us about his film and his future projects. Thanks for joining us, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good, very good. So tell us about your entry, what motivated you to get involved in the contest, and also what angle you took to portray the TSA.
It's funny. Actually, when I first heard about the contest, I had this great idea for this dark little drama I was going to make about the NSA. And then I read the rules a little further, and I saw they were looking for satire. And I was like, comedy's not really my thing. And I actually wasn't going to enter. My entry was super last minute. Right before Christmas, a friend of mine, my good friend Chuck Horton, he gave me the idea that he said, hey, I got this idea. I really think you should do it. And it's funny because usually I don't really take ideas from people, but he told me I should make a film about a TSA agent who just shows up at people's houses to search them before flights.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about that kind of over Christmas. And I was like, okay, that's really interesting. And so I decided, okay, I'll do it. And I started kind of brainstorming ideas. And but it was Christmas time, so I was really busy with family and stuff. And it wasn't until like January 1st or 2nd that I was actually able to sit down and write a script. So basically, I'd figured out I was going to make it about this real sort of a sexual predator TSA agent, and give it kind of a 70s exploitation film / cop show vibe.
Yeah, and then I think the handlebar mustache really helped as well.
That was perfect. Actually, that was kind of the whole film was last minute. Like I said, we made the whole thing from scripting to turning it in like 15 minutes before the deadline. It was less than 6 days.
Yeah.
But Travis Wolf, my lead actor who plays Dick Johnson, and a good friend of mine I've known forever, who's in most of my films. He had a beard going into it, and he was like, I don't really want to shave. And I was like, dude, you should do it. You should do it. And, I don't want to push him too hard because I'm not paying him or anything. But finally, he just did it and shaved it. And, it's a $10,000 handlebar now, I guess. So it really, really helped.
It's definitely worth every penny. And we really enjoy that. You were in the top 3 along with Joy Kemp and also the trendy TSA guys. So you guys had some great entries, and definitely it was a very good take at comedy. I'm not sure how often you do that. You say that's really not your forte, but we really couldn't tell. It was some great stuff you came up with. So if you don't mind me prying a little bit, what are your plans to do with that $10,000?
Well, the first thing, of course, I'm splitting it up kind of between the crew a bit, giving everyone a cut. The bulk of the money, though, I'm keeping to kind of use for future production purposes. We will most likely be buying a new camera in the coming months. We will be buying a new camera in the coming months. I'm not 100% sure what yet. Most likely, we shot this film on a Panasonic GH2, most likely a Panasonic GH4, which will come out in a couple months. But there might be something new that comes out. Camera technology advances at an amazing rate. But we're going to get some new equipment that will help us keep making films for almost nothing.
Great, great. And that's what it's all about, because people, they see the show and they say, what happens? You have these guys on the show, or, you go out there, you fight the TSA, you fight the NSA. This is what happens. We got guys like yourself, other people we've been able to, fortunate enough to promote, people from our previous contest. I'm from a previous contest. So that it goes all around full circle. This is what your money goes to. These are what your dollars go to when you go to prisonplanet.tv or anything else. It's to help independent filmmakers and other people who are just trying to get the message of liberty out there. So David, tell me about some of your other projects. I saw one of your other films, The State of Jefferson. It has a little more serious vibe, but it's definitely enjoyable.
Yeah, that was another thing I did for a contest. I've been entering a lot of contests recently. I sort of pick ones that I can, if I can, I try to pick contests where I can make something that sort of furthers my ideology. Like, your guys' contest was an excellent example of that. And ones that I feel like I might have a chance of winning. So that was for one about making a short film about where you're from and where you live. And so I live in Southern Oregon, the part of Oregon that has tried to secede and form their own state. And I grew up in the part of California that, has tried to secede as well and form their own state, along with Southern Oregon, called the state of Jefferson. So I put that together because I knew that, it was something that there's been a big kind of insurgent in the state of Jefferson movement again recently. So I wanted to kind of help out with that. Yeah, that one's not super dramatic, but yeah, a little more serious than Dick Johnson. But most of my other films are actually kind of action drama oriented. The last really big short film that I did was last summer. I made a film called Liberation, and it's basically about, it was actually for another competition, for a Christian film competition that we most likely got barred from because of the film's kind of overt libertarianism. But yeah, it's called Liberation, and it was about a military police officer, sort of a secret police kind of thing. It's almost like a sort of Nazi allegory going on in America, but it's about this military police officer in a dystopian near future who starts breaking people out of a prison camp. And I was pretty happy with it, considering the fact that we made it in, the whole thing was made in like about 2 weeks or less. It was shot and edited all in a week.
Wow. And
on a budget of less than $800. And it turned out pretty good. I would say it's probably my best film to date. But yeah, so kind of moving forward, that's what I want to do, is just action, drama type stuff. Although I do have kind of a dark sense of humor that does come into play from time to time.
Yeah, we saw that. Well, Dick wasn't too dark, but it was definitely
Dick wasn't too dark.
It definitely had I guess kind of a racy kind of tone, is how Alex described it. Now, David, going forward, we come to the end of our program tonight. But what would you say to anybody to encourage them? Because I always tell people when I go out in the streets, or even when I do the show, I say it's not all about being on the radio or being on TV in a suit. You can do things like what you do. You go out there with your friends, you make films, things like what Joy Camp does. They go out there and they make these satire pieces. What would you do to encourage? What would you say to somebody to encourage them to pursue the act of liberty?
I would just tell them use whatever talents you have. I mean, if people use what they're good at to further the cause of liberty, it'll do more good than if they try to, think, oh, I can only do this kind of activism or that kind of activism. I mean, I like to think that I have some gifts as a storyteller and a filmmaker, so that's what I'm trying to use. I think the film is an incredibly powerful medium, and if I can be successful at launching a career as a bona fide filmmaker, and kind of, as I like to say, take the libertarian conspiracy to rule the world and leave everyone alone to Hollywood, I think it could be incredibly effective. You can win a lot of people over through that. So I would just say, yeah, use your talents. If you're a filmmaker, make films that further the cause of liberty. If you're a journalist, do that.
Just whatever your talents are.
Yeah, whatever it is,
Yeah, exactly.
Anything.
Exactly, because we see even sometimes athletes, we have the InfoWars skateboards. Just whatever your talent is, that's what you need to do. If it's making T-shirts, do that. Go out on the streets and make videos with your friends. Just whatever. Just do whatever you can to further the cause of liberty, to talk about topics that you're interested in, even if you have to do it in a satirical way. Just do it some way that it's digestible to a mass audience. So David West, Buck the System at Facebook.com. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you.
And as I told David, when you support us, we support guys like David. We support guys like Joy Camp, guys like Project Veritas, anybody who enters the contest. I was in the contest. So when you go to prisonplanet.tv and you get yourself a subscription, that's what your money goes to. When you go to the InfoWars shop and you pick up the new Molon Labe shirts, when you get the fluoride shirts, when you get whatever, anything that you get here at this operation goes not only back into the operation to help us build new sets and things like that, but also goes to independent filmmakers, journalists, people out there who are really trying to get the word out. So get a prisonplanet.tv subscription today. I'm Jakari Jackson for the InfoWars Nightly News, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.
The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. So why are the social engineers adding it to the water? Simple. Dumb down the host population that the parasitic technocracy is feeding on. We may not have been able to get fluoride out of the water supply yet, but we can help to get it out of our bodies. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive InfoWars Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Let's take a stand against the globalists by blocking their poisons with Fluoride Shield. I use Fluoride Shield every day. Secure your Fluoride Shield and other pioneering formulations at InfoWarsLife.com today. Let's start cleansing our bodies now and support the InfoWar at the same time. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
You are watching the InfoWars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. Members can share their passcode with up to 11 other people, and your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.